Hey guys, how's it going? You ever wish you could stop time? Slow things down? Or recapture the last few seconds to alter your fate? In Prince of Persia, The Sands of Time, you can do all of this and much more, fighting through hordes of the undead, using the Fallen to recharge your dagger, and acrobatically making your way to the tip-top of the Azad Palace. Things are set in India during the 9th century, and all begins with your character, the Prince of Persia, narrating as if he's telling his story to an unseen listener.
For in that moment I thought of one thing only. The honor and glory I would bring my father by fighting like a warrior in my first battle.
The game does an excellent job introducing the prince's variety of abilities before having the player put them into use on their own. What you learn in the beginning carries you pretty far, but some entirely new skills are introduced as you go and quite a bit later into the game. If you've been around video games for a little while, it's likely that you've heard of the series. After Prince of Persia 3D in 1999, it's actually a huge shock and a total blessing that this series went anywhere. It was bad enough to even discourage the original creator, Jordan Mechner, from being involved in future projects. But in 2001, Ubisoft managed to impress Jordan enough to get him on board with the project. In fact, they reinvigorated him enough to become a lead writer. That's how massive this fresh breath of new life into Prince of Persia with the Sands of Time was. With a completely new dynamic form of combat, and all of these new ways to get through tricks and traps in the palace. The game starts out with you coming to in the middle of a battle. Your father's army is mid-raid on a palace in Azad, India. It doesn't take long for the most important event to take place, where you end up using your various newly learned athletics to nab a legendary piece of the Sultan's treasure, the Dagger of Time. And as the prince immediately uses its powers to save himself from getting crushed, he recognizes that it's special, but there's still a lot more to learn. The raid was coerced by the evil vizier, since he knows of the daggers and hourglass's power. After seeing his design with the snake cane, it's at this point you realize the game could probably fly as Aladdin too. The vizier tricks the prince into unknowingly unlocking the Sands of Time, which fills the air and basically rots everybody in sight, aside from you because of the dagger, the vizier because of his magical staff, and Farah, a prisoner of war, because of her magical necklace. It's not long into the game when your ultimate destination becomes clear, as you witness these creepy undead birds carrying the hourglass that started it all. The prince confidently suspects that those birds must be fetching it for their master. Prince of Persia: The Sands of Time basically breaks into platforming, a bit of puzzle solving, and quite a bit of fighting. The combat with some volume is bound to draw a crowd. In your very first suspended battle, one of the first undead soldiers you have to vanquish is in fact your father. The camera is so dynamic, it feels like an on-the-go highlight reel. You can seriously pull off so much cool stuff with the sound effects of your weapons and those voices crying out as you absorb their sand. Not to mention the dozens of amazing settings that these battles take place. Plus the fighting is made quite simple, with B as your sword, and multiple presses plays out as a combo. Y is your dagger, R is block, A is context specific, even just while fighting. It can jump off the walls, run up an enemy, or roll. And holding L allows you to use sand from your dagger to rewind time. This of course isn't just helpful during fighting, but essential to save yourself from platforming fails as well. That's the biggest part of the game, the platforming. And that's when we see many of these buttons do something totally different when your sword and dagger are put away. A can jump up to and leap from ledges, as well as wall jump. R allows you to run along and up walls, and these two buttons are often strung together for a multitude of situations. Holding R also serves as your pump for gaining momentum while swinging from poles. The overall direction of The Sands of Time is kept upbeat and progress-driven. Some would be relieved to hear that there's no emphasis on backtracking, and they make this obvious by how many times going back the way you came isn't an option. There are frequent save points after every new set of challenges, plus they cleverly pull you along with these super cool paranormal visions, glimpses into the near future of upcoming challenges. Prince of Persia is incredibly replayable too. It's comfortably under a 10-hour game, but if you know what you're doing, it's actually only around 4 hours. As you get better and better with your character, the game gets better too. Prince of Persia: The Sands of Time has incredible style. It was highly favored with great reviews when it came out. With it being available across the Xbox, PlayStation 2, and Gamecube, it's an absolute must-have in your collection, and a complete steal for what an incredible game this is.